Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yes, it is a familiar voice you are hearing, but new league. Well, welcome to Formula 4 Racing. And I'll tell you what, folks, we are going to add an Australian division to this magnificent league that is going to get some traction. Looking forward to all the racing. Very unique multiplayer division. 5 teams, 4 pots. 20 drivers, a random draw, and we will call these names out. They've all been allocated a spot. They've all done time trial times. We are starting off with pot 4. So we have Steve with us in this chat, in this broadcast, and we also have Droftas. How are you, boys?
Yeah, not bad, mate. All good.
That's the way.
Good. Looking forward to it. New division.
Definitely,
new
mate.
Faces.
Absolutely. I can't wait, mate. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal seeing these boys, well, actually work as a team for a change instead of doing their own thing in normal F1 racing. Yes, folks, we are unique here at Formula 4. More emphasis on the team here. These boys have done time trial times on the tracks we selected. For your information, they were China, France, and Singapore. Well, we're going to get this one underway. So, Steve, please hit that random button. Okay, so team number 1, that would be Suicide 5 from pot 4 goes into team number 1. Fantastic stuff here. So, yeah, well, there you go. Here's the first one picked, and he goes into team 1. And the second one picked, that will be Brad Tay going into team number 2. Of course, they only allocated team 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. The boys will select their own team names, their own colours, and they will get a livery going. The third pick going into team 3, that is the Stig. The Stig goes into team 3. Fantastic. Getting this one underway, folks. And, well, these pots are looking fantastic the way they all worked out. Behind the scenes, of course, the boys don't know anything about this. Tried to keep it all under wraps. Pick number 4, that is Chasey Dane going into team number 4. Fantastic. Yes, Chasey Dane, of course. Very consistent driver he is, Chasey Dane. And looking forward to seeing him perform on the new game, of course. And the last pick will be Reedy. And Reedy goes into team 5. And that is pot 4 complete, guys. Awesome stuff. I tell you what, boys, the way these pots have all been, the boys have all been allocated in these pots, I reckon we're going to have some phenomenal battles throughout this grid. Looking forward to absolutely every Grand Prix we go to. And of course, well, I'll be broadcasting it for your pleasure at home, folks. And can't wait to get this one underway. Now we'll get cracking onto pot 3. And Steve will hit that random button again and we'll yell out these names. Just wait for this screen to change. Okay, so that has changed. Pot 3, the first pick out of pot 3, Mr. Fury Strat going into team number 1. And, well, pot 3 is, well, I'll tell you what, I watched him perform in another league the other week, and I tell you what, his form has picked up, folks. I've got I know a lot about all these drivers, of course, got a bit of history with absolutely every single one of them, and, well, looking forward to seeing them strut their stuff. Going to be some competitive battles out there. Anyway, the second pick is Blue Dog. Yes, sorry, excuse me. Blue Dog goes into team number 2. And, well, I tell you what, him and Brad Tay, very close competition and, well, awesome stuff. So there you go. They've been placed in the same team, ironically or not enough. Pick number 3, that is Darkness Abyss, goes into team 3. Now, I tell you what, when this guy gets his, gets his rhythm back, folks, he is a decent, quick racer. So looking forward to seeing what he can do, of course. The next pick going into team number 4, that is Kyotonic. Now, this guy's got some phenomenal speed over a 1 lap. Haven't yet to see him put a good Grand Prix together, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying that, but he has been practicing a hell of a lot, and Kyo is a very decent driver indeed. And the last pick, that would be OSRL Bozza. And Bozza goes in to team number 5. And folks, that is the third pot complete. Now we're moving into the top end of the speed here at Formula 4 Australia. And we are doing pot 2 now, folks. So I'll just wait for Steve hit that random button again, and we'll change these numbers up. Okay, so pot number 2, team number 1, pick number 1, Crazy Kiwi into team number 1. So, well, I'll tell you what, this guy is decent. He's got some speed under his belt, and well, I'm not too sure how this new game's agreed with all the boys. I know some of them were complaining a little bit at the start, but they've started to hit their straps, and the times have come in thick and fast. Pick number 2, that would be TCF Old Boy going into team number 2. So that is TCF Old Boy going into team 2. Fantastic. Now he has got some speed. He's very well, I'm sorry, Old Boy, but track limits is his nemesis, and he has reined that in. He's been practicing frantically to try to hone that in. The third pick in pot number 2, that would be Rip the Beans going into team 3. And well, this guy can race. Very, very decent speed. Very consistent, to be fair, and he's just getting better as the months roll by, is Rip the Beans. Pick number 4 is 2-5. Now, I tell you what, folks, 2-5 is very, very new to the game. His cousin is Suicide 5. That was picked in the... well, the early stages, pot 4 he was picked in, but 2-5 has got some pace, and this game has absolutely agreed with him. We will go to the last pick of pot number 2, and that is Johnny M4 goes into team 5. And well, there you go, Johnny M4. He's got some great qualifying pace, and he's just got to be a bit more consistent and get his race pace all down pat, and I'm sure it will all come together. Now, that is the second pot complete, and I tell you what, boys, these teams are starting to shape up pretty nicely.
Yeah,
so
it's looking very competitive, especially sort of the 2-3 guys. You know, there's not much between pot 2, pot 3. Obviously, we employ a different point system here, so it's not just top 10 that score points, so every position matters. So all these guys will be fighting in their own pots, but mainly for the team. But ready for the big boys now.
Exactly right. We move on to pot 1. And I tell you what, folks, pot 1, driver number 1 into team number 1 is OSRL Shaq. And I tell you what, this guy, he has been phenomenal. I've had the pleasure of knowing him over the last 12 months or so, and just got better and better and better. And now he's absolutely lightning. Fantastic. He is in team number 1. Pick number 2 is... that is Nodsty goes into team number 2. So Nodsty was, well, he was more of a newer fella to myself anyway, as in knowing him and what he can do on track, and he impressed big time. I had a pleasure of calling him for about 4 or 5 Grand Prix, and I tell you what, he was on the podium for nearly every single one of them. His first one in debut, absolutely on top there. He won that race and did it in style there. Pick number 3 in pot number 1 is the Kraken. Now this kid is a laugh, but he's got some pace. He's picked up his pace, and I reckon he's been sweating it out over the last couple of weeks there, boys, because his pace has stepped up that extra little notch. And we'll go to pick number 4 in pot number 1. That is Nat Hammer. Nat Hammer goes into team number 4. So fantastic. Now, Nat is a great, great driver. He does not give up, folks. It doesn't matter if he's had a bit of an incident at the start of the Grand Prix or what have you. He will keep going. He will be out of position, and he'll just knock them off one by one by one. It is phenomenal to see. He is one to definitely watch out for. And the last pick. Now, this guy, well, one slick mofo into team number 5. And, well, his name says it all. One slick mofo. Quality racer. Very, very quick. Very, very clean. And looking forward to seeing what he can do here in Formula 4 Australia. Well, that is the pots all sorted and the teams all sorted. And I tell you what, guys, that looks unbelievable.
It does. The question from me to you though, as you know these guys, and obviously there's a lot of names that are pretty new to us, is first impressions, which are the team to watch?
Well, wow, that is a tough call. That is a real tough call. Team 2 and Team 5. Ooh, I don't want to say any. Yeah, Team 2 and Team 5 for me. Yeah, Team 2 and Team 5. That's just early predictions. They're the two teams I think that are ones to watch out for, but there's not much between them, to be fair, Droftas. They are unbelievably close teams. This racing, this grid is going to be phenomenally good. The battling is going to be so close. There's going to be battles from P1 to P20, all for the good of the team, of course. And, well, mate, let's get this one underway. I can't wait.
Not only that, we also need to remember that it's not just the overall championship we're looking at, we've got individual championships for the pots, so they're all fighting from, like you say, from bottom to top. So yeah, it's pot 4 will be fighting with all the other pot 4s, pot 3 with all the other 3s, and so on.
That's exactly right. So yeah, there are a few championships going. There is an Australian constructor, of course. There's the individual awards where you overall champion, and as X just said, the the pot awards, of course. So you got pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4. Those 5 drivers will obviously go into that section as well, and they can compete for the best of the pot. So, and then, well, of course, there is the famous UK side to follow. And, well, do I need to speak for that? Of course I do. I tell you what, they did an unbelievable job last season. And, well, they won me over. I was a fan of this league before I became a member. And, well, you've got to tune into all of the racing, not just the Australian side, but the European side as well. It is unbelievable, folks. So I hope you can join us for our streams. They will be broadcast, excuse me, on our Twitch, and there will be a link at the bottom of this broadcast. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we have come to Formula 4 racing to determine the Europe side of the pots, the teams, and how it was just done in the Australian side. Yes, we have got pot 1, 2, 3, and 4. As normal, we'll be starting from pot 4, of course. I have got X here, I've got Droftas here, and I've got Aylin. Aylin is here as well. How are we all, gentlemen?
Do good, mate. All good.
Yeah,
very good.
Excited.
Super duper.
Yes, of course, Aylin. Unfortunately, with work commitments, we will be missing him as a full-time driver. And, well, that is such a shame. But, yes, you'll be in reserve capacity, Aylin, from what I understand. And, well, we hope to get to see you out on track as much as possible, brother.
Yeah, I'll fill in where I can, but head steward, so everyone best be on their best behaviour.
Of course. And, well, I'll tell you what, folks, the pots have all been sorted. The drivers have been given their allocated numbers, and we will have a random draw as we did before. The numbers will come up on screen. I will read them out, and they will be put into their respective teams. So, X, could you please push the randomizer, mate? We'll get this pot 4 underway. Of course, folks, yes, the drivers have been allocated their numbers. So, going into team 1, that is Ramsell. Now, Ramsell is a great guy. He's a great driver, of course, and well, his commitment last year was absolutely phenomenal. Got stuck over in a foreign country, over in Italy, and well, he's back in the UK, and I bet he's happy as well. So yes, Ramsell into team number 1. Pick number 2, going into team 2, that would be Chaos. He is a new member, guys and girls out there. He's a bit of an unknown here at Formula 4, and well, he did play the game a couple of years ago, folks, and he was quite quick, very consistent, and let's just hope he can find that form yet again. Pick number 3, going into team 3, that is Paul Watson. Now, he uses 0 assist, folks, and he uses the cockpit cam, believe it or not. Now, that is so difficult. If you ever played the game, cockpit cam is extremely difficult to get your head around that one. But all credit to Paul Watson. He goes into team 3. Pick number 4, going to team 4, is Bannister. Now, Bannister was with us last season, and well, he was there and thereabouts in his pot, in pot 4, and the steady improvements that bloke made was absolutely fantastic. Now, pick number 5 is Mazza Pin, formerly known as iStreams. He goes into Team 5, of course, and that, folks, is pot 4 complete. Okay, so over to you, Droftas. Anything to add with these drivers in pot 4? Of course, you know them best, of course, being involved, heavily involved, one of the owners here at Formula 4, and well, you know them better than anybody else, mate. So what do you thought? What are your thoughts there, buddy?
We've got 4 out of 5 returning drivers, all of them really well turned up last year, all of them improved, so just looking for the same again. But yeah, interesting to see how Chaos does, being new. Hasn't played the game since 2019, so I'm told. So be interesting to see how quickly he gets up to speed.
Yes, most definitely, mate. So, yeah, one to look forward to seeing. They could be the sleeper of the field, so to speak, and finding his form as the season progresses. But yes, we will move on to the glorious pot number 3. So, X, could you please hit that randomizer and we'll get this one going. There we go, folks. Pick number 1 going into Team 1 is Energetics. Now, Energetics, well, he's a great guy, the Dutchman, and, well, bus driver Dutchman is Energetics, and he was with us last season. He's another lad out there that drives with 0 assist, I do believe. But we'll go to the second pick. Going into team number 2 is Callum. You got anything to add with Callum there, Droft?
Yeah, Callum's new to the league. He's come from another league I race in. Very clean driver. Been picking up pace race after race, and he does some stewarding, so I know that he knows the rules. So hopefully he can hit the ground running and show us what he can do.
Exactly right. Of course, while being a steward, well, of course, he knows the rules, and cleanliness is key here at Formula 4. So we'll go to pick number 3, going into Team 3, and that is LPE. Now, LPE is a returning driver, of course, steadily improving his LPE, and I'm looking forward to him strutting his stuff out on track very, very soon. We'll go to the 4th pick, slotting into team number 4 is All Shot Down. Now, yes, he is a returning driver, of course, and All Shot Down doing his thing last season here at Formula 4. And the final pick going into team number 5 is Chewy Racing, formerly known as Just Chewy, folks. And yes, he is another returning driver. So, Droft, that is 2 pots down. It's starting to shape up a little bit. What are your thoughts there, buddy?
Yeah, we got some new, some returning names again, a couple of new ones, and a couple of records. LPE actually holds the record for the only person to be disqualified from a race for exceeding track limits. He is also the highest number of DNFs in the league's history. So he's got those records to keep in his cabinet.
Well, there you go.
We do have Chewy, who won pot 4 last year. He finished 6th, was his highest finish, which is incredible for a pot 4 driver. So he's got a deserved promotion up to pot 3, and we'll see if he can carry on. Interestingly
enough, Energetics and Ramsor on the same team last season.
Yes, they were too, and I do remember, folks, they had a cracking battle on track, multiple tracks they did, just sort of almost shadowing each other for, well, for pace and for on-track caliber. They've almost found themselves battling each other nearly every Grand Prix, I do believe, there, X. And, well, yes, ironically enough, they're in the same team. So, yeah, well, the relive moments of last season to be continued, no doubt. But yes, we will move on to pot number 2, folks. And X, could you please click the randomizer? There we go. And yes, pot number 2 going into team number 1. And that is Sean, TTG Sean, and yes, he is a returning driver. He was Team JCB last season out, and of course, new teams this season. The boys will decide them in due course. Nothing has been decided in that regard, but yes, Sean, a returning driver, and fantastic to see him, yes, slotting into team number 1. We'll go to the second pick. That is going into team number 2, and that is the Irishman, the extremist. And yes, he is new to the league, but has already shown in some open lobbies there that he has got some pace, and looking forward to seeing him out on track, of course. Pick number 3, slotting into team number 3 is yes, Andenge. And yes, if you're a fan of Formula 4, you would know of Andenge, of course. And Andenge goes into team number 3. And there he is there. So yes, pick number 4, slotting into team 4, is the most improved driver, X. Goes into team number 4. And yes, well, you call him X, you can call him Xerxes, call him whatever you like. But yes, a lot of X's and a lot of S's. Great guy, most improved driver. Phenomenal to see that lad's progress. And yes, we will go to the 5th pick, team number 5. And that will be Crazy Bill. He reserved last season, of course, and has now been given a full-time seat. Crazy Bill, I do know, has got some pace under his belt. A very, very quick and clean driver, and looking forward to seeing what he can do here at Formula 4. So I tell you what, Droft, that is 3 pots done and dusted, and these teams are starting to shape up nicely, mate.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed at the moment is Team 3 is so far identical to its team last year. They're just missing their pot 1 guy, which was Total Peas. So that'll be one to keep an eye on there, because the teamwork for those will be, well, they know each other like the back of their hands.
I'd say they were the closest team in terms of friendship.
Okay, because I was going to say, to be fair, last season, as in consistency, towards the back half, of course, would have to have been Team MTV, but that would have been obviously the infamous one, infamous pillars. I Am, Sloth, and Chazza, and X, of course, was part of that team there as well. And yeah, they were very, very consistent come the back half of that season. But I'll tell you what, it's a season 2 here at Formula 4. None of that stuff matters. And let's crack on to pot number 1, the big boys. So X, could you please click that randomizer? There we go. So yes, slotting in to team number 1 is Droftas. He's a 2-time race winner, folks. And yes, knocking on the door of the championship last season. Of course, did miss multiple Grand Prix due to work commitments. And well, there he is there. Droftas slotting in to team number 1. Going into team number 2 now, folks. Wait for it. It is I Am Sloth. Yes, he's looking for his first win. He got promoted from pot 2 from last season, and this lad's pace has picked up. Yes, he's been sweating it out over the game, over the new game especially, and his times have improved exponentially, to be honest. And yes, we will go to team number 3 straight off the bat, and that is Total Peas. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, 4-time race winner, this lad, and quality driver, one to definitely watch out for, of course. And then we'll go to team number 4, the 4th pick. Well, there's nothing more to say about this lad. It is Glock. Glock is a 5-time race winner, was leading the championship last season, unfortunately had to drop out due to other commitments, of course, but he is back, and he is back with a bang. And I tell you what, he's maybe looking at that trophy thinking, I want it this time, having a bit of a taste for it. And yes, we move to team number 5, and that is the inaugural champion of Formula 4 last season, of course, and that is none other than the infamous Pillars. And yes, he slots into team number 5. So there you go, guys and girls out there watching this. Droftas, that is starting to shape up very nicely. Looking forward to these battles out on track.
Yeah, it should be a great season. It did happen. Team 3.
It did. I can't believe it.
Together. You couldn't write it, could you? Of all the names and chances to come out. Well, they'll be happy anyway.
I think they will be, yeah.
I think they'll be more than happy with that. But yeah, it should be good. We should have a good season under our belts, and we'll be looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what, folks, if you ever want to catch some quality on-track stuff, of course, I did say before I was a fan of Formula 4, but these European boys, the way they go about their business is quality. The battles on track, it just, it pulled me right into this plethora of talent. And here we are, and these teams, Team 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, well, it's anyone's game here, folks, and there is going to be some cracking battles out on track. So, Droftas, anything else to add, mate? What is your, obviously you know these guys a lot better than what I do, what are the teams to watch out for there, mate?
I'm going to go with Palp. I'm going to go with, well, they probably won't be called that because of the new game, but Team 3. I'm going to go with Team 3 purely because they've got a race winner from Pot 2 and Dench, who won last year. He's won about 4 or 5 races. They've got 2 race winners in that team. And depending on Paul Watson and LP's improvement this year, they've got a good chance because the teamwork factor's already there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, yes, of course, that is what we promote here at Formula 4. It is the team aspect of racing, which is long lost and forgotten in most paddocks there. But yes, not here at Formula 4. The emphasis is on the team, of course. And yes, don't worry about those teams 1 through to 5. They will be renamed. The boys will decide on their team name and their team colours. And that will be presented to all of you guys very shortly. But for now, those pots, these teams have been decided. That is the European draw done and dusted. Fantastic stuff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a special treat for you guys and girls at home. The inaugural champ of Formula 4 from last season is none other than the infamous one, the Amigo, Infamous Pillars. And I'll tell you what, this has been a time long coming, of course. Yes, the season was done and dusted, and Pillars ran away with it in the end, winning the championship. Yes, the inaugural championship of Formula 4. How are you, champ?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Ready to get this next season started and get defended, really.
Yeah, most definitely, Pills. And I tell you what, mate, we have had the pleasure of sorting out this next season, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. But I'm not going to go and delve into that one, of course. But let's just go through some statistics a little bit while we've got everyone here. And you, my friend, had 14 podiums last season. And I tell you what, folks, if you ever want to win a championship, it is all about consistency. Get on that podium as many times as you possibly can. And yes, Pillars, you did that 14 times. To be fair, only 1 win out of those 14 podiums, but it does not matter, mate. Consistency is key.
Yeah, it is really, and that's what ended up winning me that. Battling Aylin last year, he is Mr. Consistent. His finishing rate, he started 22 and finished 22, so it's hard to beat that as well. So the start I had was shocking as well, but to win it was nice. But Aylin pushed me all the way. I wouldn't say I ran away with it, but I think Aylin pushed me all the way.
Well, I mean, you've got some sort of respite. Unfortunately, Aylin has got some work commitments and cannot commit to full-time. Of course, he is the head steward here at Formula 4, but nonetheless, he will be filling in as much as he can in reserve capacity. So, that is one worry off your back, but I'll quickly introduce another one for you, and that is Mr. Glock. But we're not going to harp on your competition as we speak, of course. This is all about you time. Yes, we did not get to celebrate the Amigos championship victory here at Formula 4. He was in Team MTV, folks. And yes, just let me tell you, Team MTV not too far off winning the Constructors table. They finished in 2nd place behind Team Nintendo on 914 points. And, phenomenal effort by that team. But, of course, this season coming up is going to shake it all up. New teams, new team names, new colours. And, let's just see if Infamous Pillars can successfully defend that world title he's so so much loves and cherishes. He loves to remind us, does the amigo, and well, it's his time in the sun. He can point to that scoreboard and his name is the first one they will read out. So congratulations, Pillars, on a fantastic season last season. Just a couple of quick questions, mate. Going back, I mean, I know it was a little while ago now, but what were your highlights? What were the things that really stood out to you in your mind?
The battle with Peas at Zambort is one that will always kind of stick in the memory. Obviously, the win at Hungary that I got handed to me. But I think the biggest one is having Xerxes, the MTV team leader, just keeping my head up when times are getting tough. It's a big shout out to Xerxes. But I think those three are the main things that help me, really.
Yes, of course. And, well, we'll just remind everybody at home, Infamous Pillars finished the season on 369 points, followed by Aylin on 345, then Mr. Andenge on 310. And yes, Droftas, well, he did miss a fair few Grand Prix due to work commitments, but he finished, funnily enough, on 304 points. So I think the competition is very fierce this season, mate, and looking forward to seeing if you can successfully defend this title. I know you want it. I know that's all you've been thinking about, and I'm in your corner, Mr. Amigo. So he's a very, very quick and consistent racer, folks. And if you ever want to watch someone, well, go about their business and really hone in their racecraft, he is a great man to watch. Always willing to help out the slower guys. Quality bloke all round. And, well, I mean, I think that's enough of me pumping up the champ's tyres because he does enough of that himself. But, yeah, congratulations again, Pillars. Phenomenal season from you yet again. And, well, mate, I can only hope that you successfully defend this one.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thank you.
No dramas. So, folks, that was the Amigo, Infamous Pillars, the inaugural champ of Formula 4. And, well, like I said just before, looking forward to seeing him strut his stuff out on track again. And, well, I'll tell you what, you've just witnessed the draw. This competition is going to be fierce. And, well, stay tuned, folks. We will be racing very, very soon. The first week in August on the Monday. And, yeah, I hope you all can join us then. So, for us, for now, we are Formula 4 Racing. Goodbye.